Well, moving on now, but staying, I suppose, with children, we're learning now that in Finland, they are tackling this battle against fake news in the classroom, and they're starting it by teaching preschoolers how to recognise AI and deep fakes. So we're talking about 3, 4 and 5-year-olds. They think that we should start early, and at the moment, and weaving into literacy and their normal things that they're teaching preschoolers now, they want them to be able to recognise what is misinformation, disinformation, and it now is forming part of their national curriculum. So, you know, what do I think about this? I think it's pretty pragmatic. I suppose it's clever in a way, but it just makes me incredibly sad. I mean, I can't think about little 3 and 4-year-old kids, and we're at the point where we as a society, and I think it says much more about our cultural decline, that we have to now embed, or at least Finland has, embed this into a curriculum when kids should be learning about numbers and shapes and finger painting. And I think the other thing here is that Finland has the advantage, I think, at least at this stage, like a lot of Nordic countries do, of far better social cohesion, I think, than possibly Australia now. And particularly the education system over there, I don't think has been completely politicised and, you know, ideologically based and weaponised. So I can't see that actually working in Australia, because there will be an ongoing argument of whose truth is the truth, what is the truth, and that is the absolute gymnastics we've wrapped ourselves into.
Are you trying to say that feelings aren't facts? Because I thought that's what we taught now. I mean, but this is ridiculous. But this is the ridiculousness.
And if this was taught in Australian schools, the source of what is true news would be the ABC. Anything would be, you know, any contrary opinion would be fact-checked as misinformation, like we saw when they used to have the RMIT Fact Lab, and everything that was maybe just a different perspective, you could then fact check. And that's the problem. You can't teach kids what's right or wrong. You can only teach them how to think critically. And it is interesting, though, for Finland, this wasn't necessarily a political thing. It was a national security imperative, because back in 2014, that was the first election where they saw Russia, that they share a border with, trying to interfere through misinformation in their elections. But now I think that term itself has become such a Trojan horse to sneak in so much censorship that when I hear people talking about misinformation, I'm like, oh, come on.
Well, I mean, I just feel sorry for these kids. Are they ever going to get to experience Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and all these things that you have as a child that are make-believe, that are hyperbole, or they are, because
there is a growing trend not to do that.
Santa's fake news, but
but there is a growing trend.
Sorry, kids, I hope you're all in bed, but you know,
I do know adults that have specifically chosen not to do Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy because they don't want to lie to their children. I just find that incredibly
that was my parents.
Are you friends with those people?
My parents.
You just not be, because sorry, there's no greater joy as a parent than playing Santa Claus and wrapping the presents and making sure it's in different paper than what's under the tree.
My parents got in trouble because when I was in kindergarten, I would go around the playground telling all the other kids that Santa wasn't real. And a mum pulled my mum aside and said, "Your daughter's ruining Christmas."
That'd be
You are a horrible child, right?
Well,
how could you do that?
I stand for truth. I don't support delusion. And I started standing for truth at the ripe old age of 5 years old in the playground.
Just